my heart is with everyone in Los Angeles right now. I am donating some proceeds from the book to fire relief efforts. Separately with the book, I hope to just make people smile right now.
Josh's In Gad We Trust, out now, pairs his humor with personal stories about his life, including his friendship with Robin Williams.
Robin was one of my biggest idols growing up. So I've spoken ad nauseum about the fact that his performance as the genie in Aladdin was really one of these like inspirational spark plugs where I looked at my mom and I said, God, I want to do that one day. Well, what is that?
Whoa! Wow! Does it feel good to be out of there?
And so he came to see Book of Mormon.
Right.
And he was doing Bengal Tiger at the time. And he comes backstage and he envelops me in a bear hug. And he tells me how that was one of the greatest experiences he's ever had in his life watching the show and my performance. And
Wow.
And he wrote me this very personal letter, which I include in my book.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things that I will forever cherish, that time with him. We happened to live in the same building, and so we would both come back from our shows, and I would get like a 10-minute comedy special every night before I went to bed from Robin.
And there's nothing like it.
No,
When
there's
you feel like
nothing
you
like
are
it.
the audience of one with him.
Josh has been in the biz for 23 years now, but in the book, he takes us back to his big break, the Book of Mormon.
I'm gonna baptize her,
Baptize me.
bathe her in God's glory.
Did you have anyone and everyone in Hollywood was coming to see you in that show?
It was exhilarating and scary and gratifying, and like you said, every night there was somebody that I grew up absolutely like idolizing.
Billy Crystal, Meryl
Streep,
Oprah.
Bono, Oprah. It was every night. It was somebody. And
No
so,
big deal. Thank God you didn't listen to Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, what does he know? You cannot do this. This is going to be so controversial. Jake, really? Thank God.
Jake was the best. We were filming a movie called Love and Other Drugs together, and we were driving home one night, and I said, I had the album, the pre-recorded demo with Bobby Lopez, one of the composers, singing, and I go, so this is my next project. I want to play it for you. You can't tell anybody about it. And he goes, okay. And I play for him, Hello. And he's like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I play 2 by 2. He's like, this is incredible. And then I play Hasadiga Ibawai, and he goes, Josh, I love you. You can't do this. This is insane. This is so controversial. And I'm like, I know, but I kind of like
That's why
already
I gotta
committed.
do it. Yeah. I love it. Well, speaking of Jake, you talk about so many of your co-stars, which frankly begs the question, who is your favorite
Oh,
co-star?
that's not fair.
Yes, it is.
That's so not fair.
You dug
Kristen
yourself
Bell and
into it.
Idina Menzel. Every co-star that I've had has taught me something.
And have you learned to distance yourself from your co-stars, like Dame
Yes,
Judi Dench?
Dame Judi Dench, the first time I ever met her, she was sitting in a makeup trailer, and almost on a dare I went up to her and I said, Dame Judi Dench, more like damn Judi Dench. And she started laughing and she goes, oh, I like you. But then she embroidered a pillow as my wrap gift that said, back off 6 inches, Josh Gad. So there was that.
I cannot get involved in a case like this. Are you listening to me? It would destroy my practice. This is not my problem.
The hell it isn't.
You had the opportunity to work on Marshall with Chadwick Boseman. I had no idea that production struck up such a relationship with the two of you.
I don't know that there was anyone who worked with Chad that didn't have a life-changing experience with him.
Yeah.
That's who he was. He was the most knowledgeable, the smartest person in any room, and the most spiritual person I've ever met in my life. And that spirituality wasn't a religious thing necessarily. It was like he existed on another level and was visiting us and blessing us with his presence. And he had a twinkle in his eye and an assuredness in the way he spoke about everything that made you at peace. I don't know how he did it. It was a unique gift that I've never seen before and I haven't seen since.
The 43-year-old also opens up about how his father's infidelity and secret family, plus his parents' divorce, inspired his career.
The heartbreak of my mom finding out that my dad had a separate family as they were married, and I was 6 years old when my mom separated from my dad, she fell into a deep depression. Yeah. And I found this superpower, which was laughter. And I would do everything. Like I would pull my underwear up to my nipples, run around the house, trying to make my mom laugh, and it would work. And so that became the gateway for comedy.
As you come to the end of the book, you share another story about your father. He called and he wanted to see you in Gutenberg. And you were reluctant, but you said, okay, come to the show. He stayed the night with you. You had long conversations that evening. What kind of resolution were you able to come to after having that evening with your father?
I hadn't seen my dad in 20 years. My dad reached out to me. He happened to be in New Jersey at the time, and he wanted to come see me in the show. And I said, okay, it's gonna be on my terms, and he came. And I didn't realize until he was sitting in the audience that my dad had never seen me on stage, even as a kid. And so there was like something very surreal. And afterwards, we spent some quality time together. We talked about a lot of which is in this book. And I made peace. I made peace. I know he loves me, and I love him. And it's taken me a long time to forgive, even though I can't forget.
Well, understandably so.
Sort of the pain he put my family and I through. But that's life. That's the journey of life. And, you know, I don't ever want to have regrets. And so I needed that. And I didn't even know I needed it. But it felt cathartic.
Josh has been married to his wife, Ida, for over 16 years. And together, they share 2 daughters.
What was the moment that you realized Ida was the one?
We were doing a play together in a black box theater, and I was just so attracted to her, and I convinced the director, or tried to convince the director, that we should have a kiss in the scene. And the director was like, that is absolutely not supported by the material in any way, shape, or form.
Meanwhile, HR.
But yeah, HR, but would not recommend. But I sort of like knew she got my humor. We were sort of like, I don't know, it was sort of kismet from the beginning.
How beautiful.
Yeah, and cut to 20 years later.
You know what? You know a lot about being a dad.
I do.
A girl dad at that. And you were hysterical talking about it. I love one of the moments where you're like, in the blink of an eye, Dada becomes, shut up. Why are you always so annoying and embarrassing? I hate you.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about being a dad? And what are the most challenging aspects?
Okay, so I grew up one of 3 boys.
Yeah. So you were like, oh my gosh, and here I am with 2 gals.
I'm surrounded by estrogen. I have my wife, my girls. We even have a female dog in the house. And all of them seem to be going through puberty or some emotional distress at one time. Even the dog is like, ah! Like it's a siren, and the noise and the screaming and the craziness. You know, right now it's about, you know, I need makeup because I'm breaking out. It's a lot. There's so much uncontrollable emotional distress, usually about like very minor things.
Hi everyone, I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs.
Can you share with us the moment that one of your daughters said, Dada, is that you?
I took her to the first movie I ever took her to in a theater was Monsters University. And it was about a year before Frozen came out. And the animators had done a teaser, and Olaf didn't have any dialogue. He just did a stupid laugh, like, like something like that. Ava looks at me and she goes, just off my laugh, she goes, Dada, more Dada. And I started weeping. I was like, you know me.
Okay, so we know Frozen 3 is happening. It is a done deal.
When is it coming out?
Dude, you tell us in the book too.
Yes.
What if anything, do you know about a script? Have you seen a script, the direction?
I know very little about Frozen 3.
Well, tell me this. How many more movies could this franchise see?
I think 12. I think like 12 is sort of the max.